I am James Mosley. I was a victim of a racial hate crime and Medicare fraud in 2012 at Mobile Infirmary Medical Center. I realized early on that local law enforcement was in bed with the hospital to cover up those crimes. So I immediately contacted the governor of Alabama, Governor Bentley, and he replied, "Dear Mr. Mosley, thank you for contacting my office regarding Mobile Infirmary Medical Center and Medicare of Alabama. I've directed my staff to forward your correspondence to the Alabama Department of Senior Services and the Alabama Department of Public Health. I'm confident that the appropriate division or staff members with these agencies will review your concerns and respond accordingly." I contacted Alabama Public Health and I spoke with a Dr. Gary. This is one of several letters I shared with Dr. Gary, the Chief Physician for Alabama Public Health. Dear Dr. Gary, I appreciated the time given yesterday in our phone conversation. I mailed 62 pages medical record yesterday, which should give credence to my complaint against Mobile Infirmary. If you do read my rather lengthy horror story, you'll realize that there are a number of doctors who participated in the unbelievable crime and cover-up. I realize that you're only interested in the hospital's involvement, and that is my focus as well. To be very honest, I am certain that Eric Holder dictated to the FBI, Mobile law enforcement, and Medicare to cover up my crime just prior to him leaving office of Attorney General. I intentionally mailed him my story in hopes that he would help me and counter the belief of many who believe him a racist. However, I believe I defeated myself by mailing the letter. As absurd as that sounds, it's the only explanation for why the FBI abruptly stopped my investigation. Mobile Police and the DA refused my charges of assault, Medicare refusing to investigate obvious and provable fraud, and many more unexplainable happenings. I wanted to send this to you before you receive my package. Dr. Gary, I have filed suit against Mobile Infirmary as pro se for fraud, but it was unjustly dismissed. I was unable to find an attorney to represent me, and I know it is because race is the primary factor. I was a victim of a racial hate crime. I realized if I were black and the doctors were white, this would be national news, but our world is different today. I have avoided any attempt to file suit against Dr. Stone or Dr. Wright simply because I fear for the safety of my family. I don't know the color of the other doctors who supposedly provided me care, but because the hospital denied me my records for 29 months after discharge, the statute of limitations passed. I'm still being denied access to Mobile Infirmary by their attorney. I have email proof, and I feel this is a violation by civil rights. However, the fact that the hospital used another patient's records as mine is a crime, and I should have every legal right to justice as the female patient. Stated in the records is the name of her primary doctor, Thomas Piet. When I searched that name, I was sent to Dr. Thomas Foster, neurologist, Mobile Neurology. I don't have the ability, but possibly you can request whether or not one of his patients was admitted July 17, 2012 into Mobile Infirmary at 1 a.m. Due to her prior serious heart attack, he could very well be her doctor. I know I'm grabbing at straws, but I must forge ahead. I have instructed my wife if I come up missing, force an investigation. Thank you for your time. James Mosley. Even though Dr. Gary never called me, never requested evidence, I believed that an investigation was actually ongoing until I received this sudden reply. The information regarding your hospitalization at Mobile Medical Center in July 2015 has been reviewed by our staff, and I'm sorry to report that we're unable to be of assistance to you regarding your concerns. Called Dr. Gary and alleged a cover-up, and I told him even if they couldn't investigate Medicare fraud, how about the crime that was committed against me? Their passing Medicare review had no reason to dismiss that investigation. Obviously realizing that I may expose their cover-up, they mailed me a second letter, but this one was 2 pages and had a date, unlike the original. Except the material in the original letter and this letter were identical. So I compiled all of the evidence that I gave Alabama Public Health, and I certified and mailed it to Governor Bentley. Dear Governor Bentley, I first apologize for adding to your already extremely busy schedule. However, this is of extreme importance. This concerns something that would be unbelievable if I didn't have absolute proof. 2 months ago, I sent you a request to investigate a hate crime that was perpetrated against me by a group of doctors at Mobile Infirmary of Mobile. I appreciated the prompt response where you turned the matter over to Alabama Department of Health and Department of Senior Services. I was not contacted by either, but I managed to speak with Dr. Gary, Public Health. I discussed the matter in length on the phone, and I insisted I send a package of 62 pages proving my claim of the crime. Dr. Gary asked me no questions and honestly seemed uninterested. Weeks later, I received a letter stating my complaint could not be investigated because it happened in 2012. I called and spoke with Dr. Gary, and he confirmed the same. The reason it is being covered up is obvious because it involves race. It appears the new America exempts Caucasian male from suffering a racial hate crime. Apparently, I made an egregious error several months back when I forwarded evidence to our U.S. Attorney General, hoping he would seize the opportunity to help me and dismiss the rumors he is a racist. I received a prompt reply from the DOJ stating it would be investigated, but no contact thereafter. Due to a number of agencies who have refused my request to investigate, I am led to believe the Department of Justice is behind the cover-up. For the record, I contacted the Department of Senior Services, but have not received a reply. Governor Bentley, I'm a well-educated man with degrees from the University of Alabama, the University of South Alabama, and even Auburn. I used my education to teach high school, and I loved my career. The genetic lung disease forced early retirement and my eventual bilateral lung transplant. Even with educational qualifications, I have been treated as a homeless man on the street by the courts of Mobile. Due to the racial component, no lawyer will take my case, and I have been forced to file suit as pro se. However, my first case was dismissed by Judge Stewart due to Rule 12b, even though I provided the statute of limitations should be told to May 13, 2012, date my medical records were certified. I begged for my records for months until they were hand-delivered late December 2014. I was given nearly 300 pages of fraudulent medical records for only a 3-night stay of what they called observation. In fact, I have the medical records of a female who was admitted and discharged near my times. I received no medical care whatsoever during the time I was locked in the hospital, and I was denied transfer to my transplant hospital in New Orleans. I was given hundreds of pages of proof to everyone you can imagine, and each has ignored or replied with ridiculous reasons why it cannot be investigated. This is par for the course thus far. Here are a couple of many examples. I presented the FBI with 52 pages of evidence, and after a 2-hour discussion, I was told I had a very strong criminal and civil complaint. However, 2 weeks passed, and I was told I had nothing and do not contact us again. This was also the case with the DA of Mobile, whom I spoke personally. She claimed she investigated and found no evidence of crime. I am a spiritual man, believe the good Lord will help me through this, but I know my health has suffered greatly with the stress. After my civil suit for medical malpractice was dismissed, I filed a fraud suit, and it was dismissed by Judge Brooks with a summary judgment. He refused to explain to me why it was dismissed. The many allegations within my interrogatory have gone unanswered because the court dismissed without the evidence. This is the basis for my filing an appeal with the state Supreme Court, which I found out today was sent down to the Court of Appeals. It has probably already been ordered dismissed. Governor, I am way over my head with this appeal, but I am studying vigorously. I fear the court will be ordered to dismiss my case without merit. I'm not sure what you can do to help me, but anything would be greatly appreciated. I recently spoke with your scheduling aide and completed a request for a meeting, but no reply. I'm praying that you are not subject to the same federal pressures others seem to be. I shared a 22-page story detailing everything that happened to me with Mobile Infirmary president and no response. I have requested medical records of the names of the nurse techs who claim to have provided me observation, but the hospital refuses the information. The hospital attorney sent me an email informing me that I cannot call or meet with any hospital personnel now or in the future, regardless of litigation. Rather than send you a stack of evidence, I'd like to share one simple document by Dr. Frankie Erdman, who charged me $1,870 for medical care, and I've never met him. Dear Governor, please don't refer this to any other agency without your follow-up. Unless you use your influence, nothing will ever be done to correct this wrong. I respect you, and I do appreciate the good work you have done for my state. With greatest respect, James H. Mosley. Roll Tide, roll.